Good morning, I'm Trent Matthews with the Natural Resource Conservation Service here in Santa Rosa County. And we're out here today at Mr. Henry Lowry's farm, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about corn. Just a little bit about corn. It's a grass plant, very similar to the grasses that grow in your yard. Obviously, it grows a lot taller, a lot bigger, and it does produce a grain that we use in a lot of facets of our life. But how corn happens is it grows tall, a lot of energy into the growth early on in its life cycle, and then it puts out a tassel at the top. Now this tassel, what it does is it's full of pollen, and once it tassels out, it takes wind and rain to shake loose the pollen from the tassel, and it falls down to the cob that's developing down lower on the plant. Probably the first thing you'll notice is all this hair, or the silk that's inside the shuck. The reason that corn has these silks is it takes one silk to pollinate one kernel of corn. So when the pollen falls out the tassel, these silk catch the pollen and takes it down into the cob and helps to develop the grain. From seed to finish is about 110 to 120 day process, depending on the variety or the type of corn that's planted. The majority of the corn grown in the United States is really primarily grown for animal feed. It's going to go to either chicken growers or cattle operations or something to feed animals, but it's also obviously grown for oil, grown for food, and just a whole lot of other products.
Most years we cut 140, 160 bushel. I have cut a little better than that by upping the population on some heavier ground. But I got into it mainly for rotation. It got where this cotton, we'd cotton this ground to death, and it wouldn't see the nematodes where the cotton would go up and down. You have certain nematodes on cotton, certain nematodes on peanuts, and certain nematodes on corn. And then you have some that go back and forth, but matter that you put back into the ground helps too, with the corn. I mean, you take the stalk of corn that's 7, 8, 10 foot tall, that's a lot of tonnage of matter going back too when you harvest it. I had planted a bag, kind of like to have a dove shooting all, and when I come back, it went with peanuts the next year, and the following year when I come back with cotton, you could tell to the row where the corn had been in the rotation, because it was just, the cotton was just sturdy and flat, went up and downs. Yielded a little better too, so I started throwing a little bit in the mix for that.
One thing about corn too, we generally like to plant it earlier here in the deep south because of the heat and humidity during the summer. We do have problems with rust and other diseases getting on the plants and that prohibit growth. So planting earlier in the year when the weather's a little cooler helps combat a lot of that. Really late planted corn, you're going to have a lot more challenges with this southern rust that grows on it, and it will impact and affect the yield of it.